I woke up to a miracle today. Triggers fade as I find my way. No judgment to lead astray. In this peaceful state I'll stay.
Welcome, everyone. We're here today exploring another lesson from A Course in Miracles.
And we always appreciate hearing from you. You can find us on social media. That's at the World Harmony Project, or drop us an email at ACIM@theworldharmonyproject.org. Your insights really enrich this whole process.
Okay, so let's get into today's reading. This is lesson 262. Let me perceive no differences today. Father, you have one Son, and it is he that I would look upon today. He is your one creation. Why should I perceive 1,000 forms in what remains as one? Why should I give this one 1,000 names when only one suffices? For your Son must bear your name, for you created him. Let me not see him as a stranger to his Father, nor a stranger to myself. For he is part of me, and I of him, and we are part of you, who are our source, eternally united in your love, eternally the Holy Son of God.
We who are one would recognize this day the truth about ourselves. We would come home and rest in unity. For there is peace, and nowhere else can peace be sought and found.
So, let me perceive no differences today. It really dives right into this core idea that all the separation we see, all the differences are essentially, well, they're part of an illusion we've kind of built up.
Mm-hmm. And that line, Father, you have one Son,
Yeah.
talking about everyone, right? The sonship.
Yeah.
Not just one person, but this unified being.
Yes, exactly. It's this collective reality. But then, as it says, we spend our time seeing 1,000 forms and giving everything 1,000 names. We just slice and dice reality instead of seeing the wholeness.
It's a huge challenge, isn't it?
Yeah.
Especially because, well, our world often puts such a high value on being unique, on individualism.
Right.
Actually, our producer, Allison, shared something interesting about this. She mentioned how when she was little, she knew only one other Allison and was fine with it.
Okay.
But then as her name got more popular, she started to dislike meeting other Allisons. She felt like it made her less special.
Ah, I see. That feeling of threatened uniqueness.
Yes. Yeah. She laughs about it now. But back then, it really bothered her. It just shows how the ego latches onto anything to feel distinct, to feel special.
That's such a relatable example. The ego's constant need for differentiation. It goes from, oh, someone like me, to, wait, that undermines my specialness. The minute scarcity seems to enter the picture.
Mm-hmm. And if we truly grasped that one Son idea, names would just be, well, practical tools, wouldn't there? Like you said, pass the salt to Bob.
Sure, you need them for practical things.
But the name itself isn't the issue. It's the belief that the name signifies someone fundamentally separate, someone with inherently different qualities or worth.
Right, which brings us back to that line, let me not see him as a stranger to his Father, nor as stranger to myself.
Yes, that cuts right to it. Because if I see you as a stranger, as fundamentally other, then I'm essentially making both of us strangers to our source, to God. I'm reinforcing the separation.
And we seem to actively choose that separation sometimes, don't we?
We really do. Think about things like, gated communities, or even something like racial profiling, judging people based on appearances, keeping them out.
Or even pop culture references. It kind of sums up the whole project of separation.
It does. It implies an us that's somehow better or more valid, and a them who are devalued because they're not like us. It creates that divide.
It's not just in those big, obvious ways. It's subtle, too, isn't it? The little mental judgments we make constantly.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I would never shop at Walmart. Or maybe I'm not the kind of person who watches reality TV. We're always sorting, putting ourselves in the right pile.
Mm-hmm. Constantly classifying.
And every time we do that, every time we find a way to be different, better, worse, smarter, whatever, we're just strengthening that illusion that there are separate people to be sorted in the first place. It feeds the ego.
And giving up those differences, it can feel threatening to the ego, like losing identity.
Right. Like, if I'm not special, who am I?
That Walmart example you mentioned is pretty stark. You see how people shopping there are sometimes looked down on, almost ridiculed.
Yeah, the whole people of Walmart phenomenon.
Exactly. Behavior that might happen anywhere gets highlighted there. People become symbols of them. It's pure separation, complete ego identification.
It's a fascinating feedback loop, isn't it? The mockery almost reveals a fear that maybe we aren't so different after all. Like you pointed out, imagine the same behavior, maybe someone loudly arguing on their phone at a Whole Foods versus a Walmart. The interpretation changes entirely.
Right. Circumstances become identity.
And the Course suggests we're basically looking at ourselves in those moments and just not recognizing it. We keep ourselves trapped by refusing to see the connection. And it happens so fast, that judgment. It's almost automatic.
It really is. I know growing up, I definitely picked up an us versus them kind of view. How you behaved in public etiquette is all very important. My upbringing emphasized fitting in, partly as a way to navigate a world that can be unfair, to avoid being seen as the them.
That makes sense. A protective instinct.
It wasn't until later, through what the Course calls holy encounters, those moments where the veil just drops, that I started seeing it differently. I met people who were supposedly thems and realized, well, they were just like me. Different circumstances, that's all.
That's a powerful realization. Recognizing the shared humanity beneath the surface differences. And it highlights how things like etiquette, meant perhaps for order or respect, can unintentionally become these walls.
Exactly, an invisible fence.
And even when we have these insights, that old conditioning, man, it can still pop up automatically, can't it?
Oh, absolutely. I still catch myself sometimes. Maybe someone's being loud or dressed in a way that, my mother wouldn't have approved of. That little dem flag goes up.
Right.
But now it's different. It's more like an observation rather than that old fear-based reaction of, oh no, they're breaking the rules. It's less charged.
That's a great way to describe the shift. It's not like a switch flips and you're suddenly enlightened. It's more about noticing the old pattern and bringing a different awareness to it. Moving from fear to maybe curiosity or just acceptance, and recognizing, like you said about your mother, that the original intention might have been loving, trying to help you fit into a world that judges, but it still taught the system of separation.
Yes. How to be acceptable within that system.
So now, instead of judgment, maybe there's curiosity. Like, what if this person just expresses joy differently? Or what if being loud was okay where they grew up?
Right. Asking different questions.
The Course kind of asks us to question the judgment itself, doesn't it? Instead of just taking it as fact, what if that loudness is suppressed joy I wish I had? Or authenticity I'm afraid of?
That old programming, it still surfaces, but it doesn't have the same bite. Mostly now it just reminds me of my mom's good intentions trying to protect me, which I can appreciate now.
That's a lovely integration. Holding the appreciation while seeing the limitation, that's real forgiveness work in action.
It took a while to get there. I used to think, stemming from that upbringing about propriety, that correcting people's grammar or pronunciation was actually helpful. I honestly thought people would want to know, so they wouldn't be seen as a them. I was quite surprised when people didn't appreciate it at all.
Oh, I can imagine. It's such a common impulse, isn't it? This desire to make others, well, more like us, to fit our standards. We frame it as helping them avoid judgment, but really, it often comes from a place of wanting our world to be more comfortable, more predictable. and it subtly says, your way is wrong, my way is right.
Exactly. It reinforces a hierarchy.
And we see this even in spiritual circles sometimes, right? Trying to fix how someone else is grieving or meditating or forgiving.
Yes.
But this lesson challenges that fundamentally. It asks us to see all expressions, all forms, as ultimately part of the one Son, equally valid, even if different. That's a radical shift from judging right and wrong ways to be.
It really is. It meant unlearning all those sayings I grew up with, like birds of a feather flock together, or you are the company you keep. Those ideas keep you small, keep you separate.
Those are absolute ego classics. Birds of a feather, basically. Stick with your kind, fear difference. You are the company you keep, implying you'll be contaminated by associating with the wrong people.
Fear of contamination.
But the Course flips it entirely. We are the company we keep because there's only one of us here. That person using improper grammar and the person with perfect diction, they're the same sonship expressing differently.
Right. Seeing past the form.
Exactly. You might hear someone use, I don't know, double negatives, but they express incredible wisdom or kindness. Or someone speaks eloquently but says nothing of value, or worse, it invites us to listen with our hearts, not just our grammar checkers.
Listening with our hearts, seeing past the form to the content.
Yes.
Feels like the key.
And think of the energy freed up when you stop spending mental energy constantly judging and sorting everyone. Wow. There's suddenly space for actual connection. It goes back to the lesson, why should I give this one 1,000 names when only one suffices? We get so caught up in the 1,000 names, their job, their clothes, their accent, their beliefs. We miss the one underneath it all. We miss ourselves. It really is about coming home to unity, realizing all that sorting just leads to feeling separate and alone.
It does. You know, on a positive note, I really feel that connection sometimes when, say, a stranger genuinely calls me brother.
Oh, that's lovely.
There's a warmth there, a recognition. Now, it's nuanced, right? Bro has become kind of mainstream and doesn't always have that depth.
Sure, the casual bro.
But that heartfelt sister or brother, it cuts through the usual barriers instantly.
Yes, it's like an immediate acknowledgement of kinship, bypassing all the usual social filters. It's a glimpse of what the world could feel like if we consistently recognized everyone as family.
What if we all moved with that sis and brother energy?
Imagine that, like that old song. What a wonderful world it could be. That instant recognition instead of suspicion or judgment.
And the truth is, that oneness is there, whether we see it or not. I try to practice this, actually.
Yep.
Especially when driving. It's a great laboratory.
About driving, yes. The ultimate challenge sometimes.
I'll consciously try to label other drivers, in my head. Okay, my brother in the pickup seems rushed. Or my sister in the white van. Okay, she's maybe on her phone. Then sometimes it becomes, hey, my brother in the SUV must have lost his... Well, you get the idea. It's practice.
I completely relate. You start with such good intentions, everyone is my brother, and then someone cuts you off and it's less serene.
Exactly.
But that's perfect. That's the work right there. Catching yourself moving from sister to person who has lost their mind, that's real-time Course practice. Driving really brings the ego out to play, doesn't it?
It really does.
But the fact that you're trying, that you're bringing that awareness even when triggered, that's huge. And accepting the moments you slip, that's part of it too. Simple, but not easy, as they say.
Definitely not always easy. I had a test just last night, actually. Got lost coming home. Turned onto a street that was blocked off, but it wasn't marked well.
Uh-oh.
And the police officer who stopped me was, she was quite sharp, quite demeaning.
Okay.
And my first reaction was frustration, defensiveness. But then I consciously thought, okay, She's my sister. She's probably stressed, dealing with car after car, making this mistake. Her attitude doesn't have to create a wall between us.
Wow. That's applying it right in the heat of the moment.
And you know what? I didn't stew about it on the drive home. Normally, I would have replayed the whole thing, gotten worked up. But this time, I just let it go. Because I chose not to make it about separation.
That is such a powerful example of living this lesson. Let me perceive no differences today. You saw past the form, the rude officer, to the potential content, stressed sister. And the miracle wasn't that she suddenly became nice, but that you found peace. You didn't carry that negativity. That's the payoff right there. That's resting in unity even when the world seems uncooperative. Who knows, maybe your internal shift somehow touched her too.
That's a nice thought.
So, reflecting on our conversation, we've really explored the core of this lesson, moving beyond the surface differences to see the one son, our shared self. From Allison's name story to your driving practice and that interaction with the officer, it's all about that moment-by-moment choice, isn't it? Seeing family instead of strangers.
Exactly. The lesson says, we who are one would recognize this day the truth about ourselves. And that's the ongoing practice, isn't it? How do we live from that truth, especially when those old habits of seeing difference pop up?
And your police officer's story shows what rest in unity can look like. It wasn't about changing the external situation, but about refusing to use it as proof that separation is real.
Right. True peace isn't found when everything goes our way. It's found when we choose connection, choose to see the one son even, and maybe especially when our buttons are being pushed.
Thank you for joining us in exploring Lesson 262 today.
Yes, thank you. We hope you'll continue this practice of seeing the one son in everyone you encounter. And we invite you back tomorrow as we look at Lesson 263.